All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're skipping the long intros and getting our hands dirty. The goal? To get you set up and running your very first big data job on Databricks. And we're going to do it all in about 5 minutes. Let's get started. And hey, that's a promise. By the time we're done here, you are going to have a real working Databricks environment, totally free. And you'll run your very first Spark job. For anyone new to this, Spark is basically this powerhouse engine that processes massive amounts of data at incredible speeds. We're going to build this thing from scratch together. Okay, first things first, we need an account. And the best part? We're using the Community Edition, which is completely 100% free forever. Seriously, you won't even need to pull out your credit card. Now, sure, Databricks has these huge, powerful paid versions for big companies, but for what we're doing, learning, playing around, running our first jobs, the Community Edition is perfect. It's got all the juice we need to get started and then some. So signing up is pretty simple. You're just going to head over to community.cloud.databricks.com, pop in your details, and verify your email. But listen up, because this next part is the most important step, and it's super easy to miss. On the screen where it asks you to choose a plan, you have to make sure you click Community Edition. That's the magic button for your free account. Just a couple of quick tips to help you get in faster. You know how it is. That verification email might decide to hide in your spam or promotions folder, so definitely check there. I've also found that using a personal email, like a Gmail account, tends to go a lot smoother than a work email, which can have all sorts of weird filters. And hey, if you hit a snag, don't worry. It's usually something simple. Try turning off your ad blocker or VPN for a minute, just during the sign-up. Sometimes they get in the way. Honestly, a quick refresh of the page or trying a different browser solves like 99% of these issues. And you're in. Welcome to your Databricks workspace. I know. It can look like a lot at first glance. So many options, right? But don't sweat it. We only need to wrap our heads around two main ideas to get our job up and running. The first concept is compute. Okay, here's the easiest way to think about it. Imagine you have a workshop in your garage. It's got all the heavy machinery, the power tools, the engine, all the stuff that does the actual work. That's your compute. It's the raw power. So, if compute is your workshop, what's the second concept? The notebook. And the notebook, well, that's your blueprint. It's the set of instructions you write down to tell all those powerful tools in the workshop exactly what to build, step by step. So we write the code in the notebook, and the compute brings it to life. Oh, and a little pro tip before we go on. If you want to work faster in these notebooks, get used to the keyboard shortcuts. The number one, most important one is Shift plus Enter. Instead of clicking that little play button to run your code, just hit Shift Enter. It runs the code and jumps you to the next cell automatically. Total game changer. Okay, so we've talked about the blueprint, but we don't actually have a workshop yet. Let's fix that. We're about to create our compute resource. You'll also hear it called a cluster. This is probably the most critical setup step we'll do. So on the left-hand side, click on Compute and then Create Cluster. First, just give it a simple name. For the runtime version, just look for the latest one that has LTS next to it. That stands for long-term support, which basically means it's the most stable. You can ignore the node type, it's already set for us. And finally, see that auto termination setting? Leave it at 120 minutes. It's a great feature that automatically shuts down your workshop if you forget, saving resources. Now, go ahead and hit Create Cluster. And just another quick tip for your future self, get in the habit of giving your clusters good descriptive names. Something like My First Project or Customer Data Test will save you a huge headache later when you have a bunch of them. Trust me on this. You'll see the little icon spinning. This part takes a few minutes, maybe 3 to 5. What's happening is Databricks is literally building a personalized little supercomputer for you in the cloud. So this is the perfect time to go grab a cup of coffee. We'll be right back as soon as it's ready to go. And we're back. Okay, you should see a little green circle now. That's the signal. It means our workshop is powered up and ready for action. This is it, the moment we've been waiting for. Let's create our first notebook and run some actual code. Let's start with the absolute simplest thing we can do. In the first little box or cell in your notebook, just type print spark.version and then hit Shift plus Enter. Think of this as tapping the microphone and saying, testing, 1, 2, 3. If it spits out a version number, it means our Spark engine is on and listening. Success! All right, now let's do something a little more interesting. This bit of Python code creates a tiny little table. Spark calls it a data frame, right inside the computer's memory. We've just given it a list of names and ages and asked Spark to show it to us. And look at that. A nice, clean table appears right below your code. And for our grand finale, let's actually talk to our data. This code does two things. First, it registers our little table with a temporary name, people. Then, and this is the cool part, it uses standard SQL to ask a question. It says, hey, from that people table, show me the names of everyone who is older than 26. And boom, there's your answer. You did it. You just ran your first end-to-end data analysis job in Spark. That was awesome work. Seriously. Before we wrap this up, let's just quickly go over a few little things you might run into, and then we'll talk about what you can do next. So every once in a while, a code cell might look like it's running forever. If that happens, you can just click the little stop button. If it's really stuck, going up to the Run menu and hitting Interrupt Execution usually does the trick. And the ultimate fix? Just detach and reattach your notebook to the cluster. That's like a clean reboot. Okay, let's just take a breath and appreciate what you just did. You signed up for a super powerful cloud platform for free. You built your own computing cluster. And you used both Python and SQL to run a real data processing job. That's a massive first step into the world of big data. Well done. And of course, after you do all this cool work, you're gonna want to save it. It's really easy. In your notebook, just go to the File menu and click Export. You can save it in a bunch of different formats, which makes it super simple to share your work with someone else or just keep a copy for yourself. So you've followed the blueprint. You've built your first project. The workshop is officially yours. Now the only question is, what are you going to build next? So here's a little challenge for you. Try taking the code we just wrote and changing it up. Create a totally new data frame, but this time maybe with columns for product and price. Then see if you can write a new SQL query to find all the products that cost more than, say, $50. This is your chance to play around, break things, and really make it your own. Good luck.